cover most of the importance calculations. So you have to revise back all the calculation, especially on the ones that you has conducted in the laboratory. So we have cover on the ranking parts, okay, and then you should know on the statistical analysis, okay, on the significant difference, whether there is no significant difference, and also the suitable appendix to refer, okay, based on what are the tests that you use. And for the descriptive analysis, you should know the calculation start from the LSD, which is least significant difference, and it will be very good if you can do a revision all the calculation on past year test, okay, past year final test. So please do all the calculation on the past year papers, right? Okay, so I will go through one by one today. If we have time, we may complete. If not, then you have to do by your own lah. Right, okay, we start with measuring responses. So what should you focus on this measuring responses? Okay, so basically in measuring responses, we need to know whether what types of our data base, what are the types of our data, and what should be and how to report and how to respond these types of data. Okay, basically they are four types, which is ratio, interval, under quantitative. So if you want to measure the quantitative, they might give food spending, might give temperature. So it is under interval data. So sorry, it is under ratio data. If it's on the temperature, it's a Fahrenheit SM score, it is interval. So we only can calculate the quantitative. But if you are using on the qualitative, we can use ordinal or nominal. Okay, nominal data. Either you want to rate the service quality, poor rating, okay, students grade, or types of car owned, marital status, it is under nominal data. So to be more clear, you can see this picture. Okay, we are focusing on the food approach. So the question will be on the food application, not others, right? So what you have to know, what is the differences between nominal, what is ordinal, what is interval, what will be ratio. So to be more clear, you can see these variables. Nominal is this one. Ordinal is this one. The interval, this one. The ratio will be this one. So please look out on the food approach. Okay, on the food approach, what will be the nominal looks like? What will be the ordinal? What will be the interval and the ratio? All right. Okay, next one, we'll be going to do the measurement. Okay, so this is the types of data. Okay, you have four types of data. Okay, and then this one will be the method how to measure the sensory response. Okay, this one you have to emphasize on the responses method. Okay, if type of data you have four, so in the measuring responses, you should memorize it is four. If you are grading the premium raw material, whether it is eggs, wine, the meat, okay, the fish, the butter, we have to use grading. Okay, right. The question will not be straightforward. It will give you an application approach. It will give you a situations, right? So you have to match the situation with the method that should you use. Okay, and then if you are using attributes, okay, we can use classification. And if you are measuring the degree of certain attribute, or you measuring the preferences, so we should use ranking, right? And then the last one, if you are using numbers or scale, so it should be on scaling. Okay, Right. So this is basically what should you know in measuring responses. That is the main point that you should read on. Okay, so clear the first part. Okay, next one, we move on to the second topic, which is difference test. Okay, so in difference test, you have this method. Okay, we have paired comparison, we have dual trio, you have triangle. Okay, and then A not A test, and then you have multiple comparison test, and then you have 2 out of 5. Okay, so all the different tests, okay, you should know the principle. Okay, when we goes to the principle, what is the principle? Okay, so principle is this one. Okay, so how many tests different tests has? Each of the tests you should know the basic principle. Okay, principle on how to conduct triangle test. Basic principle how to conduct dual trio test. Okay, this is the principle on dual trio. And then basic principle for the 2 out of 5 tests. And then basic principle for simple different tests, and then A not A test, multiple pack comparison. I think that's all, kan? So that's all. Okay, so you have to know the principle of all the tests. Okay, similarity. Okay, what are the similarity? Okay, simple pack comparison. Okay, and multiple pack comparison. What are the differences? What are the similarity? Okay, it's not applicable for those two tests only. So you should know the triangle test. What is the similarity with dual trio? What are the differences between dual trio? Okay, and then A to A test or multiple pack comparison test. What are differences? What are the similarity? So you have to rewrite back your note. Okay, write down all the tests, write down the principles. Okay, the principles, all the 5 tests. Okay, all the 6 tests, the principles, the similarity, the differences, the procedure, the score sheets. Okay, so basically that is for different tests. Okay, and then you should know whether what is the different test um, measure. Okay, what is the main procedure, or what is the main objective if you want to conduct discriminative or different? So discrimination, different test is the same thing. Okay, so once again, okay, when we go to different tests, okay, for each test, you need to know the score sheet. Okay, all the score sheet, the triangle test. Okay, I have repeated so many times in the lecture. So you have to construct all the particulars. For example, the title. So every score sheet, whether it is triangle, dual trio, um, A not A test, uh, the the famous method lah. Okay, focus on the famous method. Okay, you should have the title. Okay, the panelist info or the sample info. Okay, the name, sample ID, the date. Okay, the instructions. Okay, your questions, and also thank you or any comments. Okay, that is the basic info that you have to construct, or you have to write down in whenever you want to construct, whenever you want to design the score sheet. Okay, so focus on the common method that we use. Okay, common method that we conduct in our laboratory: triangle test, dual trio, uh, affective, okay, the hedonic one, and also the QDA skill. Okay, so please focus on that particular method or the score sheets, right? Okay, the similarity, the differences, okay, and then you might be given the situations, okay. For example, go to the past year questions, okay, go to the past year questions, okay, they will give you, you can see a lot of question on giving different situations. Okay, they're giving you different situation, and you need to justify, or you need to suggest, okay, or identify which is the most suitable method. Okay, you cannot see my slide ke?
Nampak.
Nampak kan? Hmm. Siapa ni? Erdina tak nampak. Maybe some problem with your line code, Erdina. But everybody can see the slide kan? Alright,
Yes,
okay.
doctor.
So you will be given several situations. Okay, you'll be given several situations. Okay, and then you have to match. Okay, you have to suggest, you have to identify, maybe you have to determine, okay, which is the most suitable method, okay, out of different tests, okay, out of different tests, okay, which is the most suitable method, okay, that the experimental or the analyst should use. So that's why you have to know the principle of each of the methods. So it's very good if you can list down, okay, you can list down the six method or the five method in parallel, and then write down the principle, write down the score sheets, okay, then the similarity and also the differences. That's it. Okay, you can cover all the differences tests. Okay, so that's okay done with differences test, okay, or discriminative test. Okay, now we move to the effective test, right? Mm. Okay, so for effective test, okay, so in effective test, okay, don't forget in different tests we also have the calculations, okay. Please go through back the calculations. Okay, I won't do any calculation today. So you have to go back, you have go through, especially on your lab reports, okay. And then you may come and see me before the test if you want to show me whatever you have calculated on the past year's papers, okay. Okay, so in effective test, it's also the same as different tests. Okay, you should know the principles. So, what are the approaches of the effective test? Okay, mainly there are only two approaches. Whether you want to measure the preferences or you want to measure the acceptance. Okay, in effective test. Okay, so in different tests, basically we want to know whether there are differences between the panel, okay, between the product, okay, between the sample product. But in effective test, you can measure on the preference and you can measure the acceptance. So these are the main principle throughout all the tested or throughout the methods. Okay, so in effective test, you have one preference, second ranking, third hedonic, and also the last one is the food action rating skills. You only have these four methods. Okay. The rest is the how can you conduct this test. Okay. The locations on how or where to conduct all these tests. Okay. Basically, you only have four. So the same as different tests, you need to know the similarity, the differences, the principles, how many sample that the panel have to receive, okay, okay, ranking test, what do you measure, how to what will be the method, what will be the principle of the ranking test. Okay, so ranking test we have calculation and we have covered it last week. Okay, And then we have hedonic scale. So hedonic scales, you need to know the face scale. Okay, we have few points for this face scale. So you should know if you are handling with the 36 or 47 months, okay, converted into years. Okay, kalau 36 should be 3 to 4 years. So you need to know both age range, okay, in years or and also in month. Okay, so what are the most suitable face scale points and also the verbal scale, okay, on the hedonic. Okay, so the most important is the score sheet, the same as different tests. You need to have the title, the sample info and the panel info, the instructions and the scores. Okay, the face should be reflect with your panelists. If you are using the adults, if you are using the toddlers, if you are using children, so you have to go back on this category. What point should you use? And the face that you draw must be very clear. So kalau dia smile, nampaklah dia smile sikit. Kalau dia sour face, nampak dia very sour. Must be very clear. Okay, and then you can use the verbals. So these are the verbals. Okay, whether you want to use this one for the adults, okay, or you can use this one for the children, right? And it also depending on your points. So if 3 points, then you only choose the 3 verbal skills. Okay, and then the score sheets. All right. Okay, then the food act. Okay, food action rating skills. Okay, the discrimination. Okay, so these are all the discrimination. So you don't have to memorize all the descriptions. You just memorize 3 or 4 in the food action rating skills. Okay, so find the importance verb. Okay, it doesn't have to be in full sentence or complete sentence as you read in the note as written in the notes, but you should have all the importance verb. I would eat this food every opportunity, or I would eat this food very often. It can be seldom. Okay, so this is food action rating scale. Okay, the fourth method. All right, and then the importance of effective test. Okay, where can we implement the effective test? So you might be given a situations. Okay, you might be given a situations, and then you have to match, and you have to determine whether among discrimination, among effective, and among QDA, okay, which are the best method. Okay, which sensory method are the best to be suggested in the questions, right? Okay, and then the next one is where to conduct this acceptance test. And it also depending on the situations. Okay, so basically, we have 3 locations, whether on the laboratory, central locations, and home use. Okay, you have to rewrite back your notes. Okay, rewrite back on your notes on what are the advantages and what are disadvantages of conducting the sensory evaluation for all these 3 locations. Okay, you buat advantage and you buat disadvantages, and how to implement. Okay, for example, on the laboratory. Okay, so look at the laboratory. Okay, so laboratory, and we can say that it is how to implement. Okay, what are the principle? So in the laboratory, all the food will be prepared in organized preparation area. Okay, so if you are conducting at central location, maybe shopping mall or outside of the shopping mall, which is you are using apa dia punya ni, this one, okay, additional methods. Okay, if you need, okay, if you need to suggest the additional method or method on how to conduct on the laboratory, on the central locations. So this will be the answer. So if you are conducting your sensory evaluations in groceries, in schools, okay, or outside of the shopping mall, okay, these are the methods on how to conduct. Whether we can use the serving card, okay, where all the product and additional materials, maybe your microwave, okay, maybe your some of the utensils will be placed on the cart. Okay, so you have to know, or you can have the food truck, okay, motor home or the trailer, okay, but we call it as mobile laboratory. So these are the additional method. Okay, and then the home use test. So basically you just write down, okay, the advantages, the disadvantages, and how to conduct this, or apa this test at certain locations. Okay, so this is extra questions on if you are using the home use test kit, how to strategize to promote and encourage the participants. Okay, this one we should be the um, answer for these questions. All right. Okay, so you can use. Okay, this is an example of the questions. Okay, look at the first one. Okay, it will be an introduction of the question. So if you see the A, the B, the C, so all the three sub question is actually related to the main questions. Okay, they must be related. Okay, look at the question. So a confectionery company develop a new thing, this sugar base. Kan kita dah buat kan, I think kita dah buat kan dalam kelas kan. Okay, so this one, they already suggested you effective test. So that's why you have to go back to the notes to why it is suitable for the effective test. Okay, go to the first introduction part, okay, for the particular answer. And then you have to construct, okay, the score sheets. And then you have to recommend where to conduct the acceptance test. So basically, that's all the main point for the effective test, right? Okay, so I move to the last one, which is descriptive. Okay, so in descriptive test, okay, we will start with panelists. Okay, we always start on panelists. So you have to cover, okay, the steps on panelists recruiting, okay, how to recruit your panelists, how to conduct the descriptive analysis starting from the panelists and ending with the result analysis. Okay, so these are general steps. So these general steps should be in your head. Okay, dia tak boleh keluar because all of descriptive analysis will cover all this step. Okay, so you should know all these steps. Okay, and then we go to recruiting panelists. Okay, what are the criteria on the panelists? What are the tasks that you should give to your panelists? Okay, this is the most important thing in the QDA, right? Okay, next one will be the method itself. Okay, the method. Okay, nanti kita go through some of the questions. Okay, for the methods, we have flavor profile, okay, which I already covered last week in details. So you rewrite back your notes. Okay, you have three. So do we have four? Okay, so for 52 students that joined today, you don't have to focus on the ni I bagi tahu you all je. You all yang join 52 kan. Yang tak join tu, don't let them know. Okay, you don't have to focus on Wait, ada satu lagi method. Okay, this one. So you don't have to focus on free choice profiling. Okay, so focus on three methods. Okay, which is the flavor profile, the texture profile, and also the QDA. Right? Okay, don't, okay. This one will be excluded. Okay. Alright, so flavor profile analysis, the most important is whatever you have in the notes is what can we do in um, flavor profilings. So there are five here components. Okay, this is other five components. And then, so in the descriptive analysis, you write down the three methods: FPA, TPA, texture profile, and also the QDA. Okay, write down what are actually the components of this method, and then the principle. Of course, the principle. Okay, then look at the example that I have given in the slide. Okay, so if you are analyze anything that related to chocolate, okay, and you'll be asked to determine the profile analysis, or you'll be asked to design the flavor profile analysis, these are all the attributes, and these attributes must be related to whatever products that has been stated in the questions. And then the attributes must be very specific. Dia tak boleh taste. No. If you write down the taste, it will be wrong, because the taste is the general attributes. So you have to be discreet, okay? Because this is descriptive test. You need to elaborate. Okay, what are the tastes that you are measuring? Is it cheesy? Is it nutty? Okay, so these are the main attribute of the chocolate. Okay, high fermentation, high roast. Okay, and the second column or the second round ni will be the sub attributes. Okay, main attribute, the sub attribute. Okay, find more about the descriptions. Okay, dalam nota tak ada descriptions, right? So you have to find more about this description. For example, if you are choosing the aroma, okay, so the aroma, if you just write the aroma, okay, it would not be counted because it is wrong. So aroma of any chocolate, what will be? Cocoa, okay, cocoa intensity. Roasted note. Okay, what are the description of cocoa intensity? Okay, what are the roasted note? What should you describe the roasted note? So you need to have the description of each attributes. Okay, tu you kena extra lah, carilah extra points or extra notes. Okay, in Google ke, in journals ke. Okay, I would suggest you to find the flavor profile analysis of chocolate in the journals. You will find it. Okay. Alright, so in the texture profile, okay, we go to texture profile analysis. Okay, this sama. Kalau flavor profile, you can assess on five components. Okay, in texture profile, it was divided into three. So you should know the primary terms, the secondary terms, the consumer terms. So this slide is actually enough for you, okay, to differentiate between the components in the texture profile. So in texture profile, the most important is order of appearance. So you have five order. However, this is actually the general order. Okay, prior to mastification, first bite, first chew down, residual. Okay, if you go to the examples, okay, if you go to the example, okay, so match the example with the order of appearance. Okay, how to do it? Okay, in order of appearance, okay, you have one, two, three, four, five. So prior to mastification, first bite, first chew down, and residual taste. So however, okay, look at the caramel characteristic. You only have four. So we, if the question is related to any caramel product, we tak kisahlah as long as the words caramel, the order of appearance, instead of five, it will be four. First chew down, break down, and also the residual. So you don't have to memorize all the attribute. You can choose only two. Okay, you can choose only one. And you need to know what are the description of the attribute. The same goes as the texture profile, flavor profile. Okay, this is other general attributes. So you have to work extra on the descriptions. Okay, so kalau dekat texture profiles, they already give you the descriptions. Okay, they already helps you in the descriptions. Okay, you just need to know what are the descriptions. Right. Okay, and then, okay, I share you the past year questions that related to the order of appearance. So, where do we put on the question? Okay, this one. Alright, this one. Okay, now, so these are the example of the questions. Alright. Figure 1 show the texture profile analysis for a butter cake. Okay, now you go back to your notes. Okay, so I hope you have notes with you, but I won't show in the screen. Okay, go back on your notes. Okay, did you see any texture profile for the butter cake? Ada tak butter cake?
Ada doktor.
Okay, now you have tengok markah dia. 6 bukan sikit-sikit. It's a lot. Okay. So how to interpret the order of appearance? Okay, let me show you the answer scheme. Okay, I will share the answer scheme in the you future. So I tunjuk kat sini je. If you want to copy, then you can write it down. Okay, now you go back to your notes. Okay, let's see. Okay, okay. So you have butter cake. Okay, go back to your notes on the butter cakes. Okay, it necessarily be a butter cake. It can be other cakes. But this will be the answer. Tak kisahlah cake apa. Okay, butter cake, marble cake, Sarawak cake, chocolate cake. Okay, whatever the question. So you have to interpret the order of the appearance. Okay, look at the descriptive here. You have softness, you have firmness, you have cohesiveness, roughness, and chewiness. Okay. So you just divide the descriptor in the order of appearance. Because remember, you have 5 order. The first one is the prior to mastifications. So you divide it into, kita ada 5 kan? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have to divide all the attributes, okay, or the descriptor into the 5 of order of appearance. Okay, and then the descriptor. Okay, when we are dealing with QDA or descriptive, you need to have this descriptor. So what is the descriptor? So descriptor is actually the ones that you can see, or you can take from the definition inside your notes. Okay? So this is actually inside your notes. Okay. Right? So that's it. Dah dapat dah. enam markah. Okay, and then that is for butter cakes. Okay, so if you are dealing with the caramel, then it should be only 5. So exclude whatever that doesn't have in order of appearance. So when it is in order of appearance, it must be in order. Dia tak boleh yang atas duduk bawah, bawah the second duduk, yang third duduk at the second one kan, tak boleh. Right? So it must be in arrangement. Alright. Okay. Next one. Conclude 3 findings for the evaluated descriptor of the butter cake. Okay. So you have to go into the intensity. So tengok dia punya point 15 point 15 cm. So they use the line scale, right? So you have to conclude. So based on figure 1, the butter cake have good characteristic because it has high score of softness. So softness dia 8, right? And then quite firm. So you have to describe the results, interpret in this part. Okay, in this question. Okay, clear? Okay, how to do it? Because last time our this is past semester punya questions. We do on the texture profile of the butter cake. So you tak ada buat ni, so you maybe the question will not be asking regarding this, right? Okay, so just focusing on the order of appearance. Okay, then okay, we move to QDA. Right, so for QDA, mana dah QDA tadi? Okay, quantitative descriptive analysis. Okay, what do you have to focus on the QDA is actually on the score sheets. Okay, the score sheet is very important. Mana ya? Oh, sorry. Okay, now look at this QDA score sheets. So your QDA score sheet, okay, must be very detailed, especially on the attribute or the descriptor. So you will be given a situations, okay, and then you have to suggest the best descriptor. Okay, you have to suggest the best attribute that related to the situations. And the descriptor must be very precise. Okay, if you are evaluating on appearance, okay, if you only write down the appearance, okay, it will be not acceptable because appearance is a general attribute. So you have to describe what are the appearance are you looking for. Is it the firmness? Is it on the turbidity? Is it on the color? Is it on the viscosity? So let's say you choose taste. Okay, you have to emphasize on the taste. Is it the sourness? Is it the sweetness? Is it on the smokiness? So it must be relevant to whatever the situation that will be given to you. Okay, and then this line must be 15 cm because I will measure the line. So bring your ruler. For 51 student ni, bring your ruler during test. So yang tak bawa tu tak tahulah. Okay. So 51 that presents today or 50 that presents today, bring your ruler because maybe you have to construct the lines here. Okay, bawa ruler. So it must be on point 15 cm. Okay. And then the scale here must be no numbers. Tak boleh ada numbers langsung. And the indication is from low intensity to high intensity. Let's say you choose color. Okay, the brownness. Okay, let's just color brownness. So it may be less brown, dark brown, or light brown or dark brown. Or this one will be low. Kalau you dah tak tahu nak fikir what are the scale intensity, to be safe, you write je low, high. Okay, very simple. Low to high. Okay, alright. And then this form dia tak cukup. So you need to have some comments or thank you for participating. Okay, right. So as usual, tak ada title. Kena ada title, sample info, the instructions to the panel, and the suitable attributes. Okay, clear? And then if the question asks you to interpret the spider web. Okay, this is actually the spider web. Okay, usually I would ask the spider web because I only can photocopy in black and white, so it's quite difficult to do the color printing ni. Kalau you all 40, then I will give you this question sebab you all almost 85. So 85 students, 84 students. So usually I would ask this question. But if it's related, if you are being asked to do spider web, okay, they will give you the scale of each of the attribute and how to design or how to construct the spider web. Okay, look at the attributes that you are suggesting. Okay, yang you suggest. Okay, before you suggest attributes. Okay, it will be very good if you can suggest 5 attributes. Sebab spider web you akan senang sikit nak lukis. Okay, how about the size? Okay, the size of the spider web is the same as your line scale. So it should be 15 centimeter. Okay, however, whatever you draw here should be embed back with the panel's scale. Whatever your panel measure, it should be embed here. Okay, and use different color to design the spider web. And then you have to do annotation. The green shows sample 1. The yellow shows sample 1. Or you can use like this one, different line of apa ni design lah. You can have the straight line ataupun garis putus-putus macam ni to differentiate between the sample. Alright. Okay, clear? Okay, I think that's all for me. Okay, and that is the most important things lah. You can do your own revision. Okay, yang I inform, yang whatever I discuss with you today, that is the most important one. So the rest you can study by your own. Okay, so any question before I end? Ada soalan ke? Tak ada Alright, okay. So you don't have to bring any extra paper. All should be answered in question paper. Bring calculator, bring rulers. Okay. So wish you all the best. Okay, see you for those on the first session. The first session hari Rabu. Esok petang. And the rest I will meet you on 24th night.
Doktor.
Alright, okay. Thank you everyone.
Nak tanya yang sensory ballot tu maksudnya score sheet kan?
Yes.
Alright, doktor. Terima kasih.
Alright, okay. Thank you semua. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, doktor.
Thank you, doktor.